Good morning. It's 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Joan Jones. She's doing the news live from Jonestown this morning. Not the site of the horrible tragedy. This is a different Jonestown.
Do you know people were texting that like first thing at 5:30 this morning that I'm in Jonestown, and I'm thinking these people listen for a long time.
I love it. Yeah. We have to have creative names. We got Murphy-Lago, so we have to have Jonestown.
Clearly.
It works. It's on the same wavelength, Joan.
It's just not as, ornate, beautiful.
Flattering.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Both titles insinuate very different things.
Oh, yeah.
But they're both fun.
Well, drinking Kool-Aid and dying is fun.
Well,
Kool-Aid is fun.
Kool-Aid is fun.
Okay.
Well, and not everybody died. The basketball team had an away game, Joan.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you doing what you're doing down there in Jonestown.
Yeah.
Thank you. Whatever you do, listening audience, don't refer to it as Jonestown when you're talking to her. We got Mason Fleming producing. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Apps, FM dial, YouTube Rumble. I just crunched it for you, so let's save a little time. We got a big show today. I'm really excited. The president, his speech last night was wild. We're going to get into that. We also have Danielle Chaffin joining us in the 10 o'clock hour. She is our trucking expert, third-generation trucker. Her entire family is in the weeds on it. Her dad actually listens to the show. I reached out to her, and I was like, hey, I was talking about you on my show, and I wanted to get you on. She's like, yeah, my dad heard. And he was very impressed that you said my last name correctly. Listen, most of the time, I guess, and a lot of that time, I screw up. But then there's those moments where I nail it. I've been nervous ever since because I don't know how I said it when her dad heard me. So I have been nervous that like maybe I messed up that time.
And nailed it.
And now I have just like an absurd amount of confidence and I've just been saying it wrong.
This is the stuff that keeps you up at night.
It really does, John.
I know.
It really does. I'm like, did I say it right? Or was that the time I thought I said it wrong? So we'll talk to Danielle and we'll iron out the details on the last name. Danielle Chaffin. But we're really excited about that. We're going to spend like an hour with her. This is one of the things that I love, and this is just a behind-the-scenes thing. Like, we're very family-friendly around here. I mean, you guys know it because I bring my kids in from time to time. But she was like, is it all right if I bring my son in with me? I was like, absolutely. Just tell that young man not to touch anything. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. I didn't say that part. Tell him to keep his hands in his pockets. Museum hands. So that's what we call it. So you got to have museum hands.
Don't touch the equipment.
No, I'm just kidding. We'll let him push some buttons too. Mason will have somebody training back there. We're not opposed to child labor. And if you are, well, you have an iPhone in your pocket, so you're not. What? The phone's ringing in Jonestown.
Perfect timing.
My goodness.
Hey, Mason, are you coming to the Monty Fritz rally on Monday?
I think I am.
Let's go. I'm really excited. I don't know. I don't want to get ahead of my skis here. But for the first time throughout this race, I feel like Monty has a good chance to win this thing. Like, I really do.
I do too.
Like, and I'm not just saying that. Like, for a while, I was like, I respect what Monty's doing, but it is an uphill battle. And I think that you had to have that reasonable expectation that the political machine behind Marsha Blackburn was just so damn powerful and there was so much money. But it seems like there is a grassroots groundswell of support behind Monty that is just undeniable. And even people that we love, like Tim Burchett, he's getting it from all sides now. He posted a reel yesterday, and I don't knock Tim Burchett for this at all, and I'm just being perfectly honest. And honestly, the people in the comments didn't really knock him for it either. But he posted a reel, collaborated with Marsha Blackburn. That's when you get the two accounts on the one Instagram reel. It's called a collaboration. So he collaborated with Marsha Blackburn on this reel. And it was like, vote Marsha, right? And I think they recorded it when they were doing the bridge thing in Knoxville. So he posted it yesterday, and I jumped in the comments. And the comments were overwhelmingly pro Monty Fritz. And it wasn't even like 60%, 70%. It was like 95% of the comments were saying, this ain't it, Tim. That ain't it. And I was stunned. And then I don't do Facebook too much until what I like to do on Facebook is I do have a burner account. Do you know that? Did you know that about me? I have a burner account on Facebook.
I knew that.
And it really is just to check up on the mean things that this audience has said about me during the program, first and foremost. But I had a friend send me a Matt Walsh post. Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire, who I actually like a lot. And I like Michael Knowles. I think those two guys are fantastic. But the three main guys over there, Shapiro, who refused to move to Tennessee, Michael Knowles, and Matt Walsh, they all posted essentially the same thing. Notable. And it was like, Marsha Blackburn is going to be the best governor in Tennessee ever, and she's going to put all the other governors to shame. She's the governor's governor, and we're gonna vote so hard. We're going to vote like we've never voted before, and you should vote for her too. And on every single one of those posts, it was 95% Monty Fritz. Now, maybe I'm in a bubble, and there's absolutely a chance that Monty is still not able to overcome the amount of money, the amount of TV time. But I'm noticing these things. Dan does an interview with all three gubernatorial candidates, all three of the goobers, Blackburn, Rose, Fritz. And Dan does the exact same interview with each one of them. Super fair, right? Down the middle, news guy, great interviews. The Monty interview has the most views. We posted our Monty interview, what was it, 2 days ago? It's already dunking on the views of Blackburn and Rose. Now, I don't know, it's anecdotal evidence. You know I love it. But I'm having a hard time not getting a little excited about Monty's chances improving. And would it need to be like a once in a lifetime collapse for Marsha Blackburn? Absolutely. But why not? Why can't that happen? And I think it really hurts her when she is refusing to debate. Albeit it's a political strategy, and one that, you know, we didn't knock President Trump for, though the circumstances are a little different, little bit different. We didn't knock the president for it, and maybe you shouldn't knock Marsha for it. Maybe you think that that's a perfectly fine knock. I'm not here to decide whether you think that's a good jab or not. But it seems like that's hurting her. It seems like all the PAC money that's pouring in to both of the other campaigns are hurting them. And it seems like the fact that they don't want to acknowledge Monty Fritz exists is helping Monty Fritz. Like, it's almost giving him the Barbra Streisand effect. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rose doesn't want to punch down to Monty Fritz, and Blackburn pretends that he's not there, and everybody's like, well, why is that? And then they watch a couple Monty Fritz interviews, and they're like, oh, that's why. He's our guy. He's not beholden to the special interests. He's not beholden to the lobbyists. He's going to tell you exactly what he thinks. Even if you disagree with him, you're not going to question where he's coming from. And I think that that's helping him a lot. I do. I made no bones about it. I do support Monty Fritz, and I will vote for any Republican that makes it to the general. I will support the Republican candidate. At the end of the day, we are incredibly lucky in Tennessee that we have this embarrassment of riches with such a conservative state that, I mean, you're splitting hairs on what really separates these guys. But I'm going with Fritz until that option is no longer available. And we got a big rally coming up on Monday. That was supposed to be the night of the debate. They were supposed to have a debate. And instead, Monty Fritz is holding a rally at the Farm Bureau Expo Center in Lebanon from 6 to 9 on Monday evening. Doors open at 5 o'clock. I will be speaking at the event in support of Monty Fritz. and we're inviting everybody out there to come join us. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a packed house. I really do. It is a massive, massive building. Thousands of people can fit inside. So there will be room for you. And if you're a Monty Fritz supporter, Monty told me that when he's doing these events, he thinks that Blackburn people are watching him. If you want to put the fear of God into Blackburn people, show up to the Fritz rally. Show up. The grassroots seem activated here. And maybe I'm on an island, but I do. I think the grassroots are 100% activated, and I think the grassroots are behind Monty Fritz. So we'll see. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm open to any of these governor candidates, gubernatorial, the goobers coming on the show. And to his credit, John Rose is coming on Tuesday. So I'm actually really looking forward to that conversation. I am. And it's funny, I was talking behind the scenes. I was like, John essentially has a cheat code. Because all the questions that I asked Monty Fritz during our last interview are the questions that I'm going to be asking John Rose. So all you got to do is watch that interview on YouTube, and you can kind of get a gist for where I'm going to take the interview. And I'm going to be fair, but I think it's important to ask the same questions so that way you can clearly see where these guys differentiate. And I would do the exact same thing with Marsha Blackburn if she was open to coming on the program. But it doesn't seem like that. And it seems like she's pushing off all these media appearances until after the primary, which I think is a bad move. I just do. She gave the interview to Dan, to be fair, and give her credit where credit is due. But other than that, it's just been awkward elevator side eye and flyers going around saying that she's going to be fundraising in Atlanta on August 26th. And I mentioned this yesterday, but it still rings true. I feel like saying that you're going to be, like putting a flyer out and saying that you're going to be fundraising 20 days after the primary in Atlanta, it gives me vibes of when the Patriots were down big in the Super Bowl to the Atlanta Falcons and the owner came down to the field. Same energy. The game's not over. There's time left on the clock. And it seems like Rose and Fritz are willing to go full court press and battle this thing down to the wire. And it seems like Marsha is just trying to knee the ball and run out the clock. I don't know if that's a good strategy. Maybe. I mean, listen, we'll be proven right or we'll be proven wrong at the end of the day come August 6th. Early voting is open now. Today is the first day for early voting. But we'll all find out together. We'll all find out together. Marie in Nashville, how are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. I am so on board with you. I have been talking to a lot of people, and especially the younger generation is so excited. They're going to be coming out to Lebanon. We're all going to show up. He definitely has a younger crowd going to be voting for him, and they're, with Marsha, I agree with you. I'm not bashing Marsha, but it's time to let somebody younger and with more in touch values of our younger generation coming up also. And I think Marsha is just really part of the deep state. Same, it's the same old. She's getting older. It's time to just go aside, Marsha, and, let somebody new in. And I just hope everybody comes out with the energy that we have right now, and let's just get Monty through to the finish line. He is a beautiful person inside and out. He's in touch with all of our needs and the grassroots. I love it, how it's being done. And yes, I don't like the out of state. It has a bad taste in my mouth of how Marsha's running this, not wanting to debate. You're right. As this prima donna, this Washington, she's been there a long time, and that is not what we need for this state. And that's all I have to say. Go, Monty. I love you. And we're all coming out, and a lot of us young people are going to be there in Lebanon to support you. And that's all I have to say.
Hey, I appreciate the call, Marie. Thank you so much. Listen, here's the thing. I've heard really good things about Marsha behind the scenes. And I know that every time I've met her, she's treated me as a journalist of some sort, which is hilarious because Yeah, well, because I'm not. But people have told me, listen, she's way more based behind the scenes. You know, her family is absolutely based, and okay. But she's got some people speaking into her campaign that are absolutely making bad decisions for her, and she is trusting them far too much, at least in my humble opinion. Let's go to Pam in Manchester. What's up, Pam?
Hi, Chris. I'm doing good. I want to know, I'm a retired pharmacist, and there is a drug called Marinol. It's hard to get right now in Tennessee, but it's still made. It's a derivative of marijuana, and it is used to treat pain and cancer and to help people get, as the marijuana munchies, to improve their appetite. Is Marsha going to disallow that when she gets into office, if she does?
I don't know. I think Marsha likes big pharma, and so she might. I don't like the synthetic stuff. I think that's bad, personally. We've had all three gubernatorial candidates on the show, and Monty Fritz is the only one who's in favor of medical marijuana, and he says that his red lines are keeping big pharma out of it, keeping the pot lobby out of it, and there was one other, which I'm drawing a blank on, but the interview's available on YouTube. You can listen to his whole answer, not mine, if you're interested. But I've had Rose and Blackburn on the air, and I've asked them all the same question. If the legislature pushed it through, if there was a vote, and the people wanted medical marijuana and the bill gets to your desk, do you sign it or do you veto it? Blackburn and Rose both said they'd veto it, which I also thought was like just like, you work for us, actually. Like, let's reevaluate how this relationship is supposed to go. You work for us. So if it got to your desk and it had an overwhelming support of the people, then that's when you do what you're put there to do. Give in to the will of the people. Right? Doesn't that make sense? Maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe they know what's better for Tennesseans than Tennesseans. Maybe. We got a lot to get to today. We'll take some more of your phone calls on the other side. I know Mason's working the phones right now, and we'll talk about President Trump's speech last night. Dan did an amazing job covering it. Great interview with Hans von Spakovsky, and I know that's been podcasted in case you're interested in checking that out. We'll bring you some of the highlights of that on the way. We'll bring you some of the media reaction. Jonathan Karl on ABC, he was like, it's like everything the president said was a lie. But to be fair, I have a lot more documents to read. Oh, so you haven't read everything. You're just saying that he's lying based on the speech? Got it. I also had people mad at me. I had people coming at me, bro, over the fact that we run ABC News, but ABC wouldn't run the president's speech last night. Like, I'm catching strays from ABC now? We'll talk about all that and more on the way. It's 9:25. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Coming up in just a few seconds here, nailed it. The CDC says that it has identified the source of that cyclosporiasis. It's coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Was I on camera when I did that face? Because I looked right at
No, you were
Mason and I
not,
was like,
but
"Ugh." I made a face because we both looked at the clock at the exact same time.
Went, uh-oh.
Listen, it's not Mason's fault. Jones is obviously downing Kool-Aid over there and didn't realize what time it was.
Clearly, it was my fault.
We put this all on Joan Jones.
No, I will take full responsibility for this one. It's time for the news with Joan.
9:31 on Super Talk.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The source of that intestinal illness, cyclosporiasis, has reportedly been identified. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah.
A source familiar with the investigation says the outbreak of the severe stomach bug spreading across the country has now been linked to shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations in 5 states: Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia.
And sources say that lettuce came from a single supplier in Mexico. U.S. investigators will now take the lead in the investigation into a disturbing European aircraft incident.
The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board says it's taking over the investigation into a Ryanair incident where a passenger was almost sucked out of the plane due to cabin decompression midair shortly after taking off from northern Greece. The 61-year-old man who was partially out the window was pulled back into the plane by fellow passengers. A Greek hospital official says the man suffered neck and shoulder injuries and friction burns. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Porch pirates are becoming a bigger problem for some Nashville residents. WSMV4's Sarah Allen speaking to a man named Jeff at the 10th and Park townhomes who decided to take matters into his own hands. He actually captured one of the porch pirates.
He says he was able to save one of the many packages snagged, but he didn't stop there. He decided to set out a trap.
I filled an empty Amazon box with garbage covered in ketchup and Parmesan cheese, so it would be a nice surprise for the porch pirate that wanted to steal. And sure enough, at 2 a.m., someone up to the porch took it and walked away with it.
Jeff tells me that they have filed reports with Metro Police, and the building management is planning to address this at a town hall for the community.
Yeah, that man's hoping for a larger police presence outside of the townhomes. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. I absolutely love the guys over at Busy Bee. So I was talking with Brock. He's like my connection down there. I'm like, Brock, what deals we got going on this week? What do you need me to push? He said, actually, I need you to push something important. And I said, oh, what do you got? We got an AC deal. We giving away Yeti coolers. He's like, no, something important. And I said, all right, I'm listening. He said, we're having a back to school drive. And we need to get school supplies for the kids. Don't worry about the AC units. Don't worry about the air duct cleaning. Don't worry about the plumbing stuff. Worry about the kids. Right now, through the beginning of August, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is having a school supply drive, and they need your help. Notebooks, pencils, crayons, backpacks, folders, scissors, markers, highlighters, hand sanitizers, tissues, rulers, calculators, glue sticks, all the things. Busy Bee needs them for the kids that can't get them themselves. So if you could step up, this community, this audience always does, we would greatly appreciate it. You can bring them to the Busy Bee headquarters at 137 Southside Park Drive in Lebanon, Tennessee. That's 137 Southside Park Drive in Lebanon, Tennessee. And to make things a little bit even better, Busy Bee says if you bring any school supplies, you're going to receive a $50 off coupon for any service. So bring the school supplies, get a coupon, help someone in need. Busy Bee is doing the right thing as kids get ready to go back to school. All the things, pencils to backpacks to rulers to tissues, bring them to the headquarters of Busy Bee, 137 Southside Park Drive, Lebanon, Tennessee. You can learn more online, busybeehvac.com. 38 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. I'm going to make a radical prediction. Are you ready for this? This may be one of the most radical things you could ever hear me say on the air. I believe in this primary election, Matt Murphy is going to accept the sticker. I know. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. I'm getting texts from people. Early voting is open now for the primary. I'm getting texts from people that are out there voting already. Monty voters are texting in they're voting, and they're sending in pictures of the sticker as proof. Check this out. It's an America 250 special edition I voted sticker.
That's cool.
How does Matt Murphy say no to this sticker?
Yeah.
Matt Murphy's very anti-sticker.
Get the sticker, Matt.
I think he's going to get the sticker. Of course, now that I say it, you know Matt. He's going to just be...
Well, Chris told me to get the sticker, so I can't get the sticker.
I can't get the sticker because Chris told me to get the sticker.
I hate being told what to do.
He does. That's so weird. He's very...
I don't like it. I don't know, something like that.
I think Matt's going to get the sticker.
I'd get the sticker. That's a great sticker.
I'm probably going to turn it down.
Don't.
What?
Don't do it. No.
I don't think Matt's going to be able to turn away. I don't
blame you.
It's a cool sticker.
It is a cool sticker.
I might get one for the kids. That was Jason that sent me that. Shout out to Jason. I did get another text here. Talking about Monty Fritz. Said, hope you're right, but a word of hesitation. Manny Sethi carried a huge percentage of Middle Tennessee, the 99.7 audience, against Senator Bill Hagerty, but not East and West Tennessee. Hope this is not a repeat. I'm with you. I hope not. But I mean, anecdotally, I love my anecdotes. Anecdotally, there's a lot of signs everywhere. And I think one of the things that's standing out to me with the fritters, if you will, is that there's a army of volunteers. They have thousands of volunteers, which, I mean, it tells you something. People are motivated to get behind Monty Fritz. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I don't want to count chickens before they hatch. I will tell you, I feel better about it now than I felt in a long while. Good long while. Hey, real quick, before you run out, will you put my screen up on the Super Talk TV? Because I want to get to some of this stuff about Trump before we talk with our friend Danielle Chaffin, who's awesome, by the way. She texted us and she's like, hey, I'm downstairs. I'm early for once. We're like, let's go, Danielle. Let's go. Danielle's going to be joining us here in the next 20 minutes or so to talk about the trucking industry. We've been talking about the trucking industry for a while. Danielle is an expert, so whenever I have questions that I can't answer, I like to bring in the experts, and Danielle is one of them. So let's start on the Donald Trump speech last night, and let's dive into it, man. There were some big moments from the speech last night. President Trump addressing the nation. We're trying to address the nation. ABC and NBC, they didn't carry the speech. And I'm getting texts. From people or tweets. I was getting tweeted at. And they're like, hey, guess what? I'm not going to listen to 99.7 WTN anymore. And I was like, what did I do? What did little old Chris Hand do? Now, I'm not... It wouldn't be the first time that somebody got mad at me and said, I'm never listening to you again. But I was curious. I was like, what did I do? He said, you guys and Cumulus Broadcasting have a relationship with ABC News. It's like, okay. And? So I'm drawing a line in the sand. And I'm not listening to WTN anymore. And I was like, okay, that feels off because I didn't really have anything to do with it. But okay. That's fine. Like, you do you. And then the guy tweeted back. He goes, I'm still going to listen to Mostly Peaceful though. And I was like, nah, fam. If you can't appreciate us at our worst, then you can't get us at our best. That's just swear us off entirely. I was kidding, obviously. I don't know why. Are people mad at us over ABC? I feel like that's a stretch. We got good news people. I mean, they broadcast all the way from Jonestown, and then Ken Weaver comes in. He crushes it. Joan crushes it. I think that we have the best news people in the game. And occasionally, we do run the national coverage, which is meh. But ABC chose last night not to air this speech from President Trump. And it's like, gee whiz, I wonder why they would make that decision.
Piece of critical intelligence revealing shocking vulnerabilities in our election infrastructure. This evidence shows that the election system we have dangerously exposes like levels never thought possible to hacking, exploitation, and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people. But that all changes right now.
And that was the nature of the speech. So let's run through the key quotes and claims from the president on the major new revelations. And then I'm going to tell you where it's cited and sourced in the new declassified documents, shall we? Claim number one, China has 220 million U.S. voter files. The White House official summary of the declassified intelligence says over a period of years, starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities. And the intelligence even shows that China assigned a data exploitation unit specifically to this new project, saying U.S. spy agencies began learning about the compromise of voter registration files in 2020, but when they discovered that tens of millions of voters' data in 18 states had been bought, stolen, or hacked by China, yet those responsible for sounding the alarm instead kept the information hidden. Now, the source there is the official White House election integrity page summarizing the declassified package titled China's Acquisition and Exploitation of American Voter Data. Another claim from President Trump's speech attributed directly to CIA reporting. CIA reporting explicitly stated, and I quote, in mid-2018, the Chinese Communist Party policy was to leverage all domestic and foreign elements that were opposed to the U.S. president in an effort to reduce the U.S. president's votes and make him resign or prevent his reelection. Then they talked about election infrastructure vulnerabilities, saying, we judge that U.S. adversaries, including at a minimum Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, as well as non-state groups, have the capability to compromise U.S. election infrastructure. We assess that centralized election-related data repositories, such as voter registration databases, poll books, and official election websites, are most vulnerable to exploitation, and adversaries could use access to these systems to disrupt election processes. The source there is the official White House election integrity page under the section Vulnerabilities in Electronic Voting and Ballot Counting Systems. These are presented as quotes from previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments spanning from January 2020 to June of 2026. Another claim, Venezuela, digital voting rigging methods, which is interesting because a lot of people brought up the Venezuela vote rigging after we got Maduro. The White House summary of the CIA material, the documents include CIA reporting on a Maduro regime plot to digitally rig Venezuela's 2020 elections, which included precise details about methods the regime developed to digitally alter vote tallies in a way that could not be detected even with an audit. Source there is the official White House election integrity page, vulnerabilities in electronic voting and ballot counting systems section. Then they talked about domestic issues, specifically Michigan and Michigan voter registration fraud. This is from FBI files. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registrations for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to the number of applications they produced. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation for years. This is on the official White House election integrity page under the section Michigan Voter Registration Investigation, and it draws on declassified FBI files package. Then you got non-citizens on voter rolls. And this is according to a DHS review of state voter rolls and public records. They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who were registered to vote in federal elections. That's from the official White House integrity page, non-citizens on state voter rolls section, and repeated in President Trump's speech. That one is wild because they tell us illegal aliens can't vote. But in that DHS report, it actually showed that there might be over 250,000 non-citizens registered to vote in just 4 states. 190,000 plus in California. In Pennsylvania, almost 15,000. In New Jersey, just about 35,000. And in Nevada, almost 16,000. That could absolutely swing elections, county and statewide. If those non-citizen voters are registered in certain districts, it could 100% swing the balance of power there. And we might have already seen it happen. I mean, you look at what just happened in California in the LA mayoral race. Take Spencer Pratt out of it, but the people of California voted for more taxes. They passed a ballot measure to be taxed more. I don't know about you, but that one doesn't pass the sniff test at all. Even more so than Spencer Pratt. Yes. Govern me harder, Daddy. Govern me harder. Tax me harder, Daddy. Tax me harder. Okay. Yes. Who votes for that? Is that anybody? I mean, listen, we can talk about how idiotic and stupid some of these vote blue no matter who people are in California. I don't know if they're that dumb. Tax me harder, Daddy. Okay. All right. Sure will. This is wild. Now, immediately, the media began discrediting this, saying, guys, chill. The president is obviously lying. There's no information here that backs up what he says, despite the fact that they were declassifying this stuff in real time and making it available to the public. So in the immediate aftermath of the speech, there is no physical way that any of these mainstream media outlets could have dug into the declassified material. But, hey, put that to the side, right? What do we know? Well, I will tell you this. John Solomon, he reported that every intelligence chief available, every intelligence chief in the administration vetted President Trump's speech last night. I'll say that again. Every intelligence chief vetted the president's speech last night, and they confirmed that a lot of this information was directly hidden from the president, deliberately. This is John Solomon.
Well, listen, I talked to the intelligence chiefs in the last few days as we got prepared for this. It's very important to understand. The president said this tonight. Every intelligence chief vetted this speech. They made sure it was accurate. They told me they had never been briefed on the size of the breaches, the 230 million Americans, the 220 million Americans whose data was stolen, that they consider it a security breach. How many times on your network have you reported that 5 countries are capable of hacking our election machines? When is the last time you reported that Venezuela actually succeeded in breaching a machine which has implications for our future security? You haven't, because it was never made public. It has not been made to Congress. It's not been told to the president in the past. We checked the presidential daily briefs. A president was kept from this information. Now we have a chance to fix a glass chin of election security, make the 26th election more secure.
The key takeaway there is every intelligence chief vetted the president's speech last night and were good to go. Gave him the green light on everything he said. I mean, that's key. That is a piece of information that you're not going to hear on CNN or ABC or NBC or MSDNC. You're just not. I mean, MS Now, they didn't even want to run the reporting. This is so they started running the speech, right? And then Jen Psaki jumped on the air and was like, "Oh, gee whiz, guys. We just can't, in good conscience, allow the president to just lie to you.
The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems, dishonest, almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that. Tonight, we're publishing a series of previously classified U.S. intelligence community assessments and other reports proving that
President
our
Donald
government
Trump
has
deliver a
long known
speech
these
to the
machines
country
are
where you heard him portray an intelligence community that he is portraying as hiding information from him. There is no evidence of that.
Except that the evidence was made available last night during the speech. So there was evidence of that. And you can find it at whitehouse.gov in the declassified documents. But what do I know? A lot of this information had been rumored to be true for years. A lot of sleuths on the internet were pointing to a lot of this stuff. A lot of Democrats used to say this stuff back in the day, too, when it was convenient. But now it's an issue because President Trump is bringing it up. I don't know what will come of this. I think what should come of this is silver bracelets and or speedy trials for treason. You can draw your conclusions on where that should end up. And if that doesn't happen, then I think a lot of people are going to be left very unsatisfied, very disappointed, because accountability is what the American people demand. It's 9:55. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hannon. I got to tell you about my friends at USS, United Structural Systems. Listen, we are so grateful to have a company like USS in Middle Tennessee who have been doing good work since 1994. Whether you have foundation issues or waterproofing issues, these are the guys that you can call and you can trust. And they wouldn't be in business as long as they have if they weren't doing business the right way. We've had a lot of rain over the past couple of days. Is water getting into your crawl space and into your basement? You should really take care of that. You could ignore it and it'll get warm again and the water will dry up and then maybe we'll have a little drought and you don't have an issue for a while. But as soon as it starts to rain again, that problem's going to come back. And if you keep ignoring it, it's going to lead to foundation issues, and it's only going to get worse. So call the pros you can trust today. They're not going to send a sales guy worried about a quota. They're going to send an expert worried about your problem. And they'll explain exactly what needs to be done before any work gets started. Or they'll just tell you straight up, nah, you're good. We can work. You don't need any work done at all. Whatever the case may be, they offer financing, and they'll help you get the job done. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855, or find them online, USSTN.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well. Good. We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls and causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. and they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call reach USSTN.com and schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt, we appreciate you.
I have changed my tune on FIFA. I'm excited. June 26th, there's a FIFA World Cup match in Seattle. This was designated as the Pride match. So it's going to be the gayest soccer game you've ever seen. And everybody was really excited about it. And it's in Seattle. So you can only imagine there's going to be like naked bicyclists and like a lot of penises. Way too many.
Yeah, more than none.
The teams that were selected to play in the super gay soccer game, Iran and Egypt.
No.
It's like this has to be a troll. Both of them have like in Iran, if you're gay, that's like jail for life, and I think that's them being like lenient.
Yeah.
And Egypt also has draconian anti-gay laws.
Yeah.
I've never been so excited for a soccer game.
Oh.
Good morning, 10 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A shooting near a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Aurora, Colorado last night. One person taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, police have arrested one man. That shooting apparently happened as a protest was wrapping up outside the facility last night around 7:30 local time. The FBI isn't saying whether the ICE facility or the employees inside were the targets of the shooting. The incident comes as the FBI is also investigating gunfire that struck the windows of an Arizona ICE center earlier this week. No injuries in that shooting. Things didn't look so good for one measure of the housing market in May, but ABC's Jim Ryan says housing starts did pick up in June.
Home builders have been reluctant to start new projects this year, knowing that home buyers are facing sky-high interest rates. Still, overall housing starts in June came in at a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 1.42 million. That's 19% higher than in May. The same report from the Census Bureau hints at trouble ahead, though. Building permits last month fell by about 3% from the previous month.
Early voting opens today ahead of the August 6th primary. Davidson County voters are facing new polling locations, redrawn congressional districts, and election officials are urging voters to review their updated registration cards before heading out to the polls. For the first time in decades, Nashville is not in the 5th congressional district, currently represented by Andy Ogles. The city's now split across the 4th, 6th, and 7th districts. A photo ID, including your Tennessee driver's license or passport, is required at all polling locations. A man's in custody after allegedly sneaking into an NBC building at New York's Rockefeller Center yesterday. The man, whose name is Andrew Truelove, said he was looking for Today's Show weather anchor Al Roker, and then allegedly repeatedly uttered a racial slur. A security guard's been fired, and Truelove is charged with a hate crime. And did you happen to see that wild flyover by the Navy Blue Angels over a Florida beach? Yeah, it was pretty loud. Now the acting secretary of the Navy, Hung Kao, saying that there will be no punishment, no reprimand for those pilots, Kao tweeting on X. That's the sound of freedom. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth also weighing in on X, saying the flyovers will continue until morale improves. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Super excited about my guest in studio. I've been saying for the last, 6 months or so, I'm like, a story will come up. I'm like, we got to get Danielle back in here. And I've been saying it a lot. And now she's in studio. Danielle Chaffin, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm here. Thank you so much.
We're
Thanks
excited.
for having me.
We're really excited to have you. The last time that we had you on, we posted the interview on YouTube. We got like just thousands upon thousands of views. Like people really respond to what you're doing.
That's awesome.
You're a third generation trucking professional. You're the founder of Highway Veritas. You're analyzing fraud. You're analyzing safety risks. Can you briefly walk us through your background and what drew you to kind of exposing the issues in the trucking industry before we get started, just to remind people who you are and your expertise?
Yeah, absolutely. So third generation, obviously I grew up in it as third generation. I didn't, and I regret this, but I don't let it bother me too much. I didn't respect the profession as much as I wish I would have as a kid, but it's what my dad and my grandpa did. It was their job. So I didn't really think anything about it besides it being what they did for their job. I tried to get out of the industry. So I went and got a master's in social work, very much focused on program improvement and policy, which is interesting now that we're like coming full circle. I was in the therapy field for a couple of years, realized that those problems are not the ones that I enjoy fixing, nor could I actually fix them. So I came back into the logistics industry as a freight broker. And I did that for a year. I worked for BNSF Logistics, and then I got a call from a technology company, Revenova. It's a transportation management system. And I went to work for them. That was almost 7 years ago. And then almost 2 years ago, I started catching on to the complaints from truck drivers online. It's when X really started picking up after Elon bought it.
Back when free speech was allowed again.
Yeah, exactly. And so I started noticing all these truck drivers complaining about the same things. And then because I was on the technology side, I was talking to trucking companies, and I would hear similar complaints, more so on the side of like rates and we're not making money, we're losing money. And I just kept hearing the same things over and over. And by the fifth or sixth one, I thought something is going on here that is much bigger than just a handful of companies losing money. And so that's when I started digging in and trying to figure out what was going on. And so I just went straight to like the data source at the FMCSA. And that's what it started. And I thought that it would be, I don't know, in my head, I was like, oh, I'll just figure it out and it'll be a 2-week thing and then I'll be over it. That happens with a lot of my hobbies, or like, what would you call it? Like hyper focus. I'll get like, I'm going to learn to crochet, and I do it for 2 weeks and I'm like, I'm over it. Put all of that away in a box. I thought that this would be similar. I really did. And then it hasn't ended. Like to this day, I'm still finding the most absurd things that are going on in trucking. I'm just like, when will it end? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this. Whenever there's like a trucking story going on, one of the first things that I'll do is I'll go to your X account at maybe Danielle with 3 E's, because you're always on top of it. And for the last 6 months, you have been relentless. I mean, for the last couple of years, you've been relentless. Yeah. But you've really been blowing up on X. And I think it's really cool because you have a very specific audience.
I do.
And you have a core of the trucking industry that really does follow you and respect what you say, and that translates. And it's because your information is so good. But your X account, your Substack, you're relentless. And I just got to ask, what is one case or pattern from the past 6 months, to the last year since we last talked, that you've really noticed that stood out to you?
So I would say that it is the most recent one. There have been a couple of cases over the past couple of years that will keep me up at night, and it really bothers me. The latest one, I hadn't done that in a long time, just stayed up a couple of nights in a row trying to figure it out and get to the bottom of it, and also get the truth out. And that is, I think, one of the reasons why my information and my posts on X do as well as they do, because I try to find the truth. Whether it's what I want it to be as the truth or not, it is what it is. And so I put the truth out there. A lot of times it is much more than what we find in like local news media, no matter where, let's say, the wreck has happened. But the most recent one was in Ohio, and it's the 21-year-old, his name was Toby Forsyth.
Yep.
And he essentially was plowed over by a semi-truck. And that one, I stayed up 2 nights. I went through their radio chatter from law enforcement, and the emergency services is online. So I went through, but they're separate. So I had to listen to both, like 5 hours each of those. And I was just I wanted to know everything about it. And I think the reason that one, outside of trucking, I do have a little brother in my head. He's still like 21, 23. He's 30 now.
Right.
But when I think, like, if you were to ask me very quickly how old my brother was, I would probably tell you 23. He's not. But in my head,
he's always going to be 23.
He's always going to be 23. And so thinking about Toby being 21 and headed home from probably a 4th of July party, and then his life is over, like, that absolutely broke my heart.
And that was during a week where there was multiple fatal trucking accidents, where I think a 6-year-old girl lost her life.
Yep.
A Pennsylvania state trooper lost his life, and then that individual. But this is not something new to you. I mean, you've highlighted multiple fatal crashes involving illegal aliens or non-English speaking truck drivers. Walk us through February of 2026. There was an Indiana crash where a Kyrgyzstani driver, I think I nailed it, killed 4 Amish men.
Yes.
What did the carrier history, the KGZ outfit, Sam Express, AJ Partners reveal about the violations? And when you see the patterns, what are they revealing, and why do they keep repeating?
So the KGZ outfit, I actually took that from a court case that's in the Illinois federal court, and the attorney referred to them as the KGZ outfit, and I thought that was brilliant, so I just took it. But that one, if you watch the dash camera footage of that wreck, it's on a 2-lane road. The car is stopped in front of the semi. And the semi, instead of paying attention and stopping, of course, he didn't, but instead of veering off to the right where there's a 20-acre field, he veers to the left and then hits the work van head on. There was a driver, because the Amish don't drive vehicles, so they had a driver, and they were in the back, headed to or from work. I can't remember exactly. But he veered to the left, which is the exact opposite of what a truck driver should do.
But you could almost make the argument that that's like instinctual because you were raised in a different part of the world where you're
Correct.
driving on the opposite side of the road.
Absolutely.
So it's like in that moment, you go back to muscle memory.
Yeah.
And it reveals a bigger issue here.
It does. It absolutely does. And I thought about that when I was going through all of it. And the problem I have with trying to get this information out, like you picked up on that just now so quickly, a lot of people can't zoom out and see the cultural aspects of what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, that's not even like a knock on him. I mean, so we'll vacation in St. Croix, and it used to be owned by the Dutch, and like you'll be there and you have to drive on the left side of the road. And I noticed it when I'm driving on the left side of the road that I'm like, I'm still driving and checking my blind spots like if I was on the right side of the road. And it takes a while to get that out of your system. So if you're in a high tense situation where all of a sudden the adrenaline just rushes out of nowhere, you're going to fall back on your training.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And this KGZ outfit, they're Kyrgyzstan group. They have so many trucking companies connected to them, or US DOT authorities. Some of them have been shut down. Some of them, they run them all, not all 60 something of them, but they run a lot of them at the same time. So instead of being like a typical like textbook chameleon carrier where one gets shut down, then they move to the other, then they move to the other, they run a bunch at once.
Can you back the truck up, no pun intended, and explain what a chameleon carrier is?
Yes. So a chameleon carrier is a trucking company, one entity that switches US DOT authorities. And so all of our generational family trucking companies, they've had the same trucking company name and the same US DOT authority. Like I'll use Senator Bailey, for example. They have Charles Bailey Trucking. Charles Bailey Trucking has been Charles Bailey Trucking since Charles Bailey started Charles Bailey Trucking, I don't even know how many years ago.
Right.
These chameleon carriers, they will switch entities faster than my kids shower. And they do this because one will get shut down, whether it's a fatal crash and they're deemed as an unfit carrier and they should not be on the highways anymore, or their insurance cancels on them. So the FMCSA can shut them down, the insurance can shut them down, or they can just ruin their reputation with brokers and shippers and no one will hire them. And so they'll just essentially start over, clean slate.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like that should be illegal.
Yes. Like we should put an end to it years ago.
We're talking with Danielle Chaffin. She is a third-generation trucking expert. She runs an X account and a Substack. You can find her at maybe Danielle with 3 E's on X. So when you said you get kept up at night by some of these crashes.
Yeah.
And I imagine that the digging process is kind of hard because I see some of the cases that you're working on, like in Ohio and elsewhere. You've posted about drivers like Beksad Azarov, okay? And he was tampering with the evidence after a fatal crash. So how hard is that to unravel? And is it hard for you to unravel? Are the police getting to the bottom of that? How does this stuff get exposed when the drivers, they essentially know that they've done goofed?
Yeah.
And they're trying to hide their crimes.
Yeah. So the only reason that I have so much detail on this one is, again, because I went back and listened to the radio chatter for the entire time that law enforcement and emergency services.
So you're listening to law enforcement chatter, emergency services chatter, but also trucking chatter?
There wasn't, that's more on social media.
Okay.
Drivers don't really use CBs anymore, and that's not recorded.
Okay.
I don't think it's recorded. I've never found anything.
I'm just curious. I don't know.
Yeah. So anything that comes from the drivers will be on social media, but the foreign drivers use an app called Telegram, and they have groups. So I do get a lot of intel from within those.
Are there common factors in these deadly crashes? Is it language barriers, fake credentials, hours of service violations via ELD fraud? Do you see this kind of stuff repeating?
I do. And there is the argument that with the one in Ohio, whether he could speak English or not wouldn't have kept him from running over Toby or not. And while that may be true, he couldn't speak to law enforcement when they showed up. I don't know who called 911. It couldn't have been him. What was he going to say?
It's crazy.
And then even on the radio chatter, they tried to get, he's from Uzbekistan. They tried to get a Uzbek translator on site. Couldn't find one. They tried to get one at the hospital. Could not find one. They tried to get one when they got to the jail to book him. Couldn't find one.
That's insane.
Absolutely. So they were just using Google Translate.
So for hours of service violations, what is the ELD system and how are they committing ELD fraud?
Yeah. So the hours of service, drivers are federally regulated to drive a certain amount of hours. 11 hours in a day. They have to stop during that time, take a 30-minute break.
You got to sleep.
And then they have to sleep. I don't necessarily agree with how strict these rules are because truck drivers are adults.
Right.
Like if you're not tired, you're not tired. And so I'm telling you that you have to stop and sleep for 8 hours, but you're not tired yet. So could you drive another hour safely and then pull over? Probably. But with the hours of service, the ELDs that some of these entities or networks are using, they have access to the code behind the ELD.
And what does ELD stand for?
Electronic logging device.
Okay.
So it used to be paper logs, and drivers would fill those out.
And they would flub those as well.
And they would. And the argument that I have with that, and I really had to push back on like the older truck drivers on X, is that to manipulate a paper log, you had to use your brain. To manipulate the electronic log, all these guys have to do is text or telegram into this dispatch service and say something like, I need more coffee or I need more hours. And then the dispatch bot will come back and say, log out, log in, you're good to go. And they have a fresh shift of hours.
And that's because they're hacking the machine behind the scenes.
Correct. Yep. And so that also plays into like this indentured servitude and trafficking and abuse of these drivers, because the guy sitting up top, the boss, whether he's on U.S. soil or not, I don't know, he's wanting to make as much money as humanly possible, as quickly as possible. And so he's pushing on everyone below him to get these drivers driving all of the time. And so even if Azarov, there's an element of it where I have to remember that he's human. Was someone pressuring him to drive more than he should have been? I don't know.
So that's one of the questions I want to ask you, too, is how widespread is the trafficking elements in leasing?
It is huge. It is.
Because this seems like it's like an unspoken part of it.
It is. It is. And I've been trying to get there, but carefully, because it's also hard to prove. Human traffickers aren't usually like, hey, we're human traffickers, here's what we're doing. It's much more discreet.
Well, and it's probably a dangerous tree to bark up.
Oh my goodness. It 100% is a dangerous tree. But with, I know I'm jumping back and forth between the Ohio wreck and the one in Indiana. But the one in Indiana, the guys from Kyrgyzstan, their building in Illinois is the most elaborate building that I've ever seen in my life. It was all over YouTube. They took all the videos down. I screen recorded all of them because I knew they would do that after the wreck happened.
Based.
But inside this building, they have like apartment units. They have showers, of course. They have a gym. They have a prayer room. They have a dining hall. They have a CDL school.
What kind of prayer?
Not the kind of prayer that you and I do.
Got it.
And that is an element too, that plays so much into this is the culture and the religion. That unless you have the ability to really open your mind and take a step back and look at this as a whole issue, it's hard. It's a hard conversation to just have online by like one or two statements with a post. Where was I? Gym, prayer room, apartments.
You're looking at this building.
Dinner. It is massive, this place. The guy, the owner, quote unquote, which really I just think he's like the boots on the ground. He got here in 2017. By 2022, he had like 500 trucks during the freight recession. And my thing is like, show me one American trucking company
that's able to do that.
Grew that much from 2017 to 2022. 500 trucks. Where does this money come from? I have ideas, but I don't know for sure.
So do your ideas go down to shady groups, mafia organizations?
Oh, absolutely. I know for sure that some of these groups, it is foreign government linked, whether it is like foreign government funded or it is a politician from a foreign country that has been indicted for fraud there and they haven't caught him. And now he's essentially embezzling and funneling the money through the U.S. through this trucking company.
I want to dig more in on that in a moment. We got Danielle Chaffin in studio. She's a third-generation trucking professional, founder of Highway Veritas. She is literally the only source that I'm going to trust on a lot of this stuff because she's fearless. You should follow her on X at maybe Danielle with 3 E's, maybe Danielle. And we'll be back in a moment with more from Danielle. Right now, I got to tell you about my friends at the Glock store. Truckers, if you're out there driving, you should have a sidearm on you. You should be keeping yourself safe on the roads. And when you're driving through Nashville, I suggest that you stop at the Glock store. On Friday, August 7th and Saturday, August 8th, they're having some amazing events. O-Site and Glock store VIP event. I'm going to tell you about both. On August 7th, it's an exclusive access, limited availability event. You check in between 9 and 11:30. The event is going to start at noon, and there's going to be some awesome meet and greets and pro photo shoots with featured guests like Short Shot Tony, funny guy from YouTube, and Justine Williams, USPSA's youngest grandmaster, 24 national championships, 8 world records. You're going to want a picture with both of them, and you'll get them. Plus, you'll get a first look at pre-release O-Site optics, hands-on range time with great guns and O-Site optics, expert instructions in CCW tips and tactics, expert instructions in red dot install and bore sighting techniques, catered lunch, a VIP gift bag worth over $2,000, and a new O-Site optics. Now, you can get those tickets at glockstore.com/VIP. Maybe you're not available on Friday, you're working. Well, then you can go to O-Site Day at the Glock store on Saturday. That is free and available to the public from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. all day long. Get hands-on range time with new O-Site optics, in-store discounts on O-Site optics, great O-Site raffle giveaways, free O-Site swag, and food trucks on site and ready to serve. Whichever day is right for you, you're going to have a blast, pun intended. It's at the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and always open online, glockstore.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Good morning. It's now 10:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories happening at this hour. Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin announcing new election security crackdowns after a report that said federal investigators have uncovered 278,000 non-citizens registered to vote in U.S. federal elections. Mullin saying the full total could be larger since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files. They don't really have an idea of the exact number. Early today, DHS sent letters to officials in California, New Jersey, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, alerting them to the scam. Most of the fake voter registrations are in California. The U.S. has reportedly struck Iranian electricity supply facilities, roads, and bridges as the stepped-up campaign continues. Now, Iran is claiming that those are targets not allowed under international law. Not so, says ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy.
To be a valid military target, it has to have at least a dual purpose, which indicates that the Iranian military gets a great advantage of it. So it doesn't mean that necessarily because civilians use it that it's off limits. And of course, Iran's attacking a desalination plant in Kuwait within the last 24 hours itself.
Iran telling its citizens to shut off the air conditioners today to save electricity. The high temp in Tehran today, 102 degrees. LL Bean opened its first ever Tennessee store in Franklin this morning.
LL Bean is really growing, and we're implementing many more stores in the South. And you have a beautiful area, and we know people here like to enjoy the restorative power of the outdoors, so that's why we're here.
The regional manager there speaking with News 2. That store is now open at Cool Springs Galleria. That's the latest news. We've got weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
36 minutes after the hour, it's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I have third-generation trucking and logistics expert Danielle Chaffin in here. And listen, there's a reason why I bring a trucking expert on the show to talk about trucking, because during my Glock store commercial, I was like, get yourself a sidearm, drivers. And then everybody's like, you're not allowed to do that. And I was like, I'm not the expert. So whatever you do, don't do that, okay?
I think it's okay in some states. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. Don't take legal advice from a radio show.
Please don't. Please don't. Danielle's here. Just to recap, Danielle is like who I go to for the trucking information. Third-generation trucking industrial professional, founder of Highway Veritas. Your Substack is focused on fraud, risk, safety analysis. You run an awesome X account at Maybe Danielle with 3s. I think if you just typed in Maybe Danielle, it's going to pop up.
Work, yeah.
But you're a walking disruption. I mean, that's literally what you are. You expose issues in transportation, and because of that, you have gained a big following. Because of your background, a lot of people take you very, very serious.
Yeah, and when I started this, I really wanted my only goal when I started this was to get the attention of the FMCSA. But to do that, I also realized that more people may come. And I never wanted my audience to only be truckers. If I were to talk in the language of just truckers or like the industry jargon, no one else would be able to figure out what's going on. And so I wanted to put the information out in a way, and still today.
You have to dumb it down so someone like me understands.
Yes. And I needed like the public opinion to be very good and focused on the issues we had in trucking, because it truly affects everyone.
And there's a lot of issues. So before we hit the break, we were talking about companies and networks and mafia-like organizations. And I do believe that this is a big focus. So we briefly mentioned it a moment ago, chameleon carriers, okay? And these are companies that essentially rebrand over and over and over again when they run into issues. So Hope Trans becomes B-Zone Logistics, which becomes Cardan, which becomes Fiorito, and it's really KGZ, Central Asian Network. So how do these operations work, and do they function like organized networks and mafias?
100%. There's a group that I work closely with that it's a really large shipper. They have started an in-house team that is formed of ex-military, because there were a couple of guys that were ex-military that already worked there on the cargo theft side. And those couple of guys realized that what these networks are doing truly operates like it is transnational organized crime. And so they created a whole department of ex-military that worked on the intel side of all of this to try to disband some of these networks and get them out of hauling their freight.
This is one of the reasons why I think you're deserving of so much respect, because you are barking up a lot of dangerous trees with this stuff.
100%.
And it's not something like your average American walking the street would think when you tell somebody, oh, I report on the trucking industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no. You're dealing with organized networks and mafias, and they're literally smuggling people in trucking.
Yes.
They're dealing with fake CDLs, and they have leasing scams masking trafficking.
Yeah. So a good example of this, I found really funny how I found this. I was on YouTube one night just messing around watching stuff on trucking, and I saw. Is
that what you do in your free time? Is that fun for you? You're
oh my
just
goodness,
like,
yeah.
You're all in.
Yeah. This one was like I was on a mission. So I found this one video, and it was a group of 3 or 4 Indian truckers in Indiana, and I had to translate it, but they were saying like how much money they were making in the American trucking industry and like glorifying this entire thing. Well, they were in a neighborhood outside of the house. And so I went through the video, and I would like pause every 3 seconds until I found a road sign. And I didn't know they were in Indiana at the time. I just knew like I have to find where they are. And so I finally found a road sign, and there were a few roads throughout the US, and I just kept going like to Google Maps. This street, no, those don't look like the houses. And I would go to the next one. Finally, I found it. It was in Greenwood, Indiana. And within one neighborhood in Greenwood, Indiana, I don't know how many houses are there, let's say 100, there are like 500 trucking companies in this one neighborhood. And so I started posting about it. This is a long time ago. And there were a few people from Greenwood that found my posts and they were like, yes, like this is happening there. And they were talking about.
Were people surprised that you found this out and noticed? Or were they more grateful that you were like calling attention to it?
More so that. One woman, she was talking about her, I don't know, maybe it was her grandmother's land and they ended up selling it. And that's what is now being developed into this neighborhood. And it started back in 2012 and then it just blew up. This is, I don't know, 9 months after I posted the initial information, I get a call from the Indiana State Police or an email. They wanted to set up a call. I talked to them for 3 hours. The initial part was, we cannot legally tell you everything we want to tell you, but we want information from you. And I said,
whatever you need.
Yes. I was like, if you don't say another word and just let me talk to you for an hour, I will do it.
So I just pulled it up on maps. Greenwood, Indiana is a suburb outside of Indianapolis.
Yes.
It looks like maybe 40 miles south. Like if we were doing it, it would be like Murfreesboro to Nashville or Smyrna to Nashville.
Yeah. Yeah. So one neighborhood in there is 500 trucking companies. They did tell me very vaguely what you found about that neighborhood is true, because I could only assume that the fraud that I think is happening there is actually happening. If you remember a few weeks ago, there was this big transnational Punjabi gang that was busted. Greenwood, Indiana.
No way.
Neighborhood.
So you're seeing foreign-owned companies like this where you got Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Punjabis, and they're hiring their own nationals who don't speak or read English. And that's a central part of your post. That's a central part of your investigation. So is it American companies and brokers hiring them?
Brokers, yes. American trucking companies, no. When an American trucking company, a generational, good, legitimate trucking company, when they hire drivers, they always have in mind, if something happens, I have to represent this guy in court. Good companies are not going to hire a bunch of drivers that they are not willing to represent in court should anything happen.
So explain to me where the disconnect is, because you said American companies no, brokers yes. So the brokers don't have to worry about the court cases. Is that correct?
Until recently, no. We had the SCOTUS ruling that came out unanimous 9-0 that said brokers can be held liable. Previous to that SCOTUS ruling, it was really just a free-for-all in whatever district you were in.
Have you noticed since that SCOTUS ruling kind of a pulling back from
100%.
These brokers?
Oh my gosh. It has been kind of wild to watch it unfold. And what I work with a lot of brokers in my full-time job, and I told them, everything that you guys haven't paid attention to that I've been doing for the past 18 months, you should pay attention to it now. Like, I've spoken rooms of hundreds of people, and I will put a QR code up at the end to download my presentation. Everyone in the room, FBI, huge shippers, Kroger, Amazon, state law enforcement, everyone will download it except the brokers. And I send it to them afterwards anyway, just in case they didn't have time to get it off the screen, which they did. But they just, because there was no accountability, they were not held responsible for the decisions they were making when hiring a carrier.
That's wild.
And when you take all of that responsibility out, then it just comes down to rates. Who is the cheapest? Who can I hire at the lowest rate that's going to do the job? And then everyone gets paid.
So since the SCOTUS ruling, you're seeing the brokers pull back.
Yep.
Is there still an issue with the CDL mills in schools? Like, we all hear puppy mills, and it's we don't like that. Nobody likes a puppy mill.
Yeah.
Now do that for commercial driver's licenses, and that's what a CDL mill is.
Yeah.
What are you seeing there?
So luckily, there's two sides of this.
The grunt doesn't give me a lot of optimism, Danielle.
Well, because yesterday, so I was really excited because FMCSA and DOT have realized that there's way more going on with these CDL mills than just getting drivers in. There's the human trafficking element, the immigration documents, they have in-house legal teams, all this stuff goes on within these CDL mills. And so they brought in DHS, and they have this partnership now to go after the CDL mills. I would not be telling you this on air had they not released a whole announcement yesterday warning all of these CDL mills that they're about to come in and raid the place. And so then I get on the Telegram groups with all the foreign companies, and now they're all looking for qualified trainers.
So when you're in these Telegram groups, you're in stealth mode, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
They have no idea
I have a
it's
whole
you.
other name.
Let's go.
It's like some Uzbek name I found off the internet. Yeah, it's really funny. But I don't ever say anything. I just look.
You lurk.
Yeah, I do. I lurk a lot on the internet. But yeah, we released this big statement. DHS put it out, their partnership with DOT, and they have 75 CDL schools that they're targeting first. And as soon as that came out, I don't know, within an hour, one of the CDL mills that I know for sure was looking for a qualified, like urgently hiring qualified CDL trainer. And I was like, way to go, guys. This is like announcing your DUI checkpoint. Like, if I'm drinking that night, no, I'm not going to go that way because I know it's happening.
So it's kind of dumb that they announced it.
Yeah. I wish they wouldn't have done that, but
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it probably makes things a little bit safer.
yeah, absolutely.
How bad are these CDL mills? Like, what is the rate of them churning out bad drivers?
I couldn't put a number on it. I will say it's a lot. And there's so much involved, so much in it that it's not just putting out unsafe drivers. There in the CDL mills, that's where the human trafficking piece comes in. And not the human trafficking like I'm shoving a bunch of people, moms, families in the back of a trailer and hauling them across the border. This is very organized, we're going to come from Uzbekistan or Kyrgyzstan to New Mexico, and then the cartel takes over, and then they're going to get you into the United States, probably Pennsylvania or New Jersey. And when you land there, then we're going to have a taxi bring you into Ohio or Illinois, for example. And when you get there, of course, you have nowhere to live. So now we have a place for you to live. We've built this building, and we have the apartments, or we've rented out a bunch of apartments, and we just cycle.
It's indentured servitude.
It is, absolutely.
Essentially. It's not the human trafficking that you would picture from a movie.
Correct.
It's, well, if you're not working for us, you're back in, your third world country.
Correct. And they will, and when it comes to the ELDs and pushing these guys to work far beyond what they're capable of, they will threaten.
It's dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have mentioned California being ground zero. I also just heard you bring up Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Where is the worst?
I would say for like true organized transnational crime, Ohio, Illinois, as far as like their home bases.
And is that because of how centrally located they are in the country?
I don't necessarily think so. I think it's because they're embedded with the local politicians.
Yuck.
And they can get away with, like, everything's kind of under the table. I know that that's true for a group in Ohio, for sure.
Can you expand on that a little bit?
The group in Ohio continues to expand, and this is the one that wrecked in Ohio. And killed Toby.
The 21-year-old guy. That was over the 4th of July.
It was. Yep. 1:37 a.m. on, it would have been July 5th when it happened. But that group, the older ones have been there for a while, but one of their companies, sorry.
You're good.
My alarm telling me I need to do something. One of the quote-unquote owners of one of their largest companies is also the son of a construction company owner, huge construction company contractor in the area that was previously a driver, and his now wife owns a bar there, and this bar holds all of the local political events. So it's like a bar, but it's also this event center.
So I guess, like, as we kind of zoom out and put a bow on this, are we doing enough or are we doing not enough? Because I hear parts of your conversation that are really like, oh, wow, okay, they're talking to you behind the scenes. There's stuff happening.
Yeah.
And we'll see the headlines that federal law now requires truck drivers to speak English. But then we still see the crashes. So is enforcement ramping up, or is it enforcement theater and it's actually collapsing?
I think there's a little bit of both. I will say that the biggest issue right now with enforcement is that we are only going after the truck drivers. And we will get one off the road, and that's great. And there's 300 more where that one came from. And until we go to the top of these chains and shut the entire thing down, where it's going to be the same.
The last time we had you in, you said that you estimated, and I'm paraphrasing because it's been a while, but I think you said your estimate was that there were 300,000 non-citizen or non-English speaking truck drivers in the country.
Yeah.
Where do you think that number is today?
And after I said that, 300,000, there was a study come out by a big trucking company, and they estimated closer to 600,000.
So it's worse.
Yeah.
It's much worse.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that it's far below that. I mean, I know with the soccer, what was it, the World Cup that was in the United States, I do not know how many people came in for that, and they are not leaving, that are now going into trucking.
That's not good.
Mm-mm.
I knew I didn't like this soccer thing.
No.
Never did.
No, it's all over the Telegram groups.
Really?
Yeah.
See, we got to ban soccer. I told people. They didn't listen. They'll tell people that there's a driver shortage, though.
There's always a driver shortage. There has been since 1980 something.
But that's how they've justified importing the foreign labor.
Yep.
So from your perspective, is this an organic narrative, or is this a calculated push because of lobbying and policy and fraud pipelines?
I think that there are some people in on it that may have had good intentions, wanting to increase the qualifications for truck drivers, which we do need good truck drivers on the roads. How many do we have enough true qualified professional truck drivers to fill all of the jobs that we need in America? I don't know that the answer to that is yes. Could we get them? Could we incentivize them to love this industry and love this profession? I think so. Not right now. And shippers always want to push rates down, big shippers, not like your local manufacturer.
Right.
But the big shippers, they want to push down those transportation rates, and then they hand all of this freight over to brokers, and the brokers want to push down those rates even more so they can get their
cut
portion of it. Yeah. And so all of that happens, and then you have this big truck driver shortage during COVID, and it's like, oh, we were missing 800,000 truckers, and now we need to get them. Well, where are they going to come from? Overseas, of course, because that's cheaper. And so we're not outsourcing. We do that too with technology. That's beside the point. So we just import.
We're really just driving down wages.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you could give me some long-term, how do we fix its solutions? How do we restore safety? How do we restore fairness for American drivers? And how do we bring back national security in trucking?
It's actually very simple, I think. A trucking company in the United States should be owned by an American citizen. Not on paper, not saying that you do when you're actually operating from Serbia, Moldova, Uzbekistan, Ukraine, India, whatever. Truly owned by an American citizen. Drivers are American citizens. We do have the DACA recipients who have been caught up in all of this mess. And some of them, I know one guy personally has been an American since he was 2. And he is caught up in the mess and doesn't have his license. So I think there has to be a balance with that. But importing this labor, cutting off all of the foreign influence, specifically trucking companies, the freight brokerages that are running from overseas, that would take care of everything downstream.
Danielle Chaffin, there's a reason why we have her on the show. Third generation trucking and logistics expert. She is behind the scenes digging into everything. How can we keep up with you? Where can we find your Substack? What's your X account? All the things.
Yeah, the easiest way to find everything is DanielleChaffin.com. Has a link to my Substack, all of my socials, but also all of my socials, mainly X, is at maybe Danielle with 3 E's at the end.
You're the best. Thank you for the time, as always. And we're going to get you in. I was saying this off the air during the commercials. We got to make this a little bit more routine because you always have such good information. So thank you for the time. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
10:55. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. But we have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast, and that's coming up in 5 minutes. Crazy story out of Illinois. A mass shooting targeting members of one family. Illinois State Police.
The Illinois State Police, along with the East St. Louis Police Department, are investigating a targeted mass shooting against a family here in East St. Louis. Preliminary investigation indicates that two 16-year-old suspects were taken into custody On Sunday, July 12th.
The teens are a girl only identified as WT and her boyfriend, Jamire Davis. They're charged as adults with 5 counts of murder. Among the dead are the girl's 74-year-old grandmother, whose thumb had been cut off so the teens could access her phone to steal money, and the girl's mother, who reportedly warned police about a stolen gun and threatening text messages before she was killed. Confirmation hearings continue for Attorney General nominee Todd Blanche. Witness testimony today, including from Jennifer Boss, an Illinois mother whose daughter Megan was found last winter partially decomposed in a garbage can put there by a 52-year-old Mexican illegal immigrant, according to authorities.
So the justice that we're seeking now is the assurance that their deaths won't be ignored and they won't be in vain, and preventable tragedies from these laws not being enforced won't be repeated. I 100% believe Todd Blanche will be the one.
Blanche's detractors are there too. Danny Bensky, an Epstein survivor and sexual assault advocate, spoke against the nomination of Blanche, claiming he had refused to speak to her and other survivors for months while the Epstein files were being released.
He simply ignored us for the last 8 months. He has been radio silent, and the silence was deafening. Crime victims deserve better from the nation's highest level of law enforcement officials.
Today's the final day of the hearings. Some encouraging signs about the employment landscape. Latest numbers from the Department of Labor Statistics.
Analysts were anticipating a slight rise in first-time claims for jobless benefits. Instead, the number has fallen from 216,000 applications 2 weeks ago to 208,000 last week. The Labor Department also reports declines in the 4-week moving average and in the total number of people on unemployment, at just over 1.8 million.
ABC's Jim Ryan, and that's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. So, going to be honest with you for a minute. So, and I said this to Mason off the air. After the speech from Trump last night, I was like, oh man, maybe today wasn't the right day to have Danielle in. Like, just full disclosure, I was like, I don't know. But then after having Danielle on, I was like, no, it's always the right day to have Danielle on.
Yeah, great choice.
Dude, she's awesome.
She's the best.
We got a text here that 9336 said, why in the hell is she not transportation secretary? People don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
I'd support.
I mean, have you seen the text line? I'll be honest with you. Sometimes during interviews, like I can double time, right? And look at the text line and do the interview. But like with Danielle, I'm honestly just captivated when she's talking about this stuff.
You're zoned in because she's sharing so much good information.
It's really good intel. So I didn't see it. I didn't see a lot of the text coming in, but so many people are just co-signing, and we have a huge trucking audience at WTN. I mean, some of you guys, I've seen the text. Like you'll take us via the app all the way to the far left or the far right of the country, all over the place, and we truly appreciate that. Whether you listen on iHeartRadio or tune in. So I know we have a big trucking audience, but when we get somebody like Danielle in, it's like, man, the truckers are listening in full force. If you missed Danielle's X account, at maybe Danielle with 3 E's, at maybe Danielle. David on the road is a trucker. What's up, Dave? How you doing, man?
Doing good. About you, Chris?
I'm good, man. What do you got?
I've been a professional truck driver for 40 plus years, and this isn't a new thing. This has been going on for probably at least the last 20 years, if not 30. It's just coming to a head now.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. I think that in the information age, though, it's finally leaking out from the trucking community into kind of like mainstream knowledge.
Right. Social media and stuff has changed, so much that you're getting more information out there. But, like I remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, you go to the greater Chicago area, and I would venture to say as much as 50, perhaps 70% of the drivers didn't speak a word of English. You go into those drivers in some of them warehouses, and you didn't understand anything that anybody was saying.
Back then, though, was it the Eastern European countries and the Indian countries, or was it something else?
That's exactly who it was in the Chicago area. Was the Eastern European countries.
Gotcha.
Especially right after the breakup of the Soviet Union, you really started seeing a bunch of drivers showing up out of Ukraine, Georgian, Chechen, those Middle Eastern Soviet bloc countries. Yeah. And then in the last 10 or 12 years is when you started seeing the Middle Eastern drivers showing up. I can tell you a story about, I was in a truck stop over in Lebanon that was owned, the chain is a huge chain. It's owned by the family of one of the ex-governors, so you put two and two together and figure out what country I'm talking about. But I was getting fuel, and a truck pulled up next to me, and 8 grown men got out of one truck. And
I've heard of driving in teams, but I didn't think that you'd have a full basketball lineup plus some reserves.
8 grown men, and I'm not kidding you one bit in that. And let me tell you, Chris, when they opened the door on that truck, you could smell that truck all through that whole truck stop.
Oh, imagine the smell.
Yeah, it would curl your toes, man.
Oh my gosh!
I've been next to cattle trucks that smell better. I can tell you that.
Oh, Jesus.
But that's what's been going on. And Danielle probably knows it. It isn't anything new. This has been going on for years.
Yep.
It's just like I said, it's just coming to a head, and people are finding out about it now. And like I said, it's just, I think social media has a lot to do with it. The people are, like she said, it's the telegram and stuff. These people are coming from everywhere, to get a job here. And they're just basically being prostituted is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, the social media is a double-edged sword, right? Like, we can talk about the dangers and the negative impacts of social media, but the fact that everything's become so digital, like, it would have been much harder to infiltrate these networks in the 80s and in the 90s. But now with Telegram and, the easy accessibility of a translator app, anybody can really dig in and do this kind of stuff. And social media is a huge amplifier to get this news out.
Yeah. But that's really all I got, Chris. Like I said, I just want to let you, this isn't nothing new.
No, I hear you, man.
Like I said, it's just coming to light now.
Yeah, well,
I appreciate you taking my call. Thanks.
Hey, likewise, man. I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you listening. I really do appreciate all the truckers that we have in this country. We have some amazing men and women that are willing to do this and get the things that we need from point A to point B. And it is not undersold on me how important the trucking industry is to the American way of life. And I do believe that we have some of the greatest truckers in the country here in Middle Tennessee, and you guys listen, and we appreciate that. So we're here for you guys. And I also, I'm fully admitting that I'm not a trucking industry expert. So I try my best to get people like Danielle in here that can shed light on what you guys have been dealing with for a very long time. And I am grateful for her for doing that. She's a beast. And I got a text here. It said, worked as a freight broker for 12 years. You want to see fraud? Send Nick Shirley to investigate the trucking industry into Chicago. I'm like, I'm sure he'd find some. I will tell you this. It's a little inside baseball. This is sometimes things happen. I'm like, man, I really am lined up with the right people. So I had said to Danielle, this was maybe, I don't know, 4 months back, 5 months back. I was like, I have somebody that I need to connect you with. And then I reached out to that person. I said, I have somebody I need to connect you with. So I texted Danielle about an investigative journalist that she's been on the show before, Savannah Hernandez. And then I texted Savannah Hernandez about Danielle. And both of them replied at about the exact same time and said, oh, we're already in contact. And I was like, let's go. Like, this is what we need. And it was kind of one of those moments where you're like, all right, yep, this is exactly why I have people like this on my show, because they are tuned in, they are paying attention to what's going on. And I was speaking with Danielle off the air about Sav, about that situation, which they said they got a project that they're working on that's coming out soon. And I said, what do you think of Sav? She's like, oh, she was the absolute best. She's like, she sat down with me for like 5 or 6 hours just learning before we even started doing anything related to what she wanted to do. She's like, she gets reached out to by people all the time. And it's not a knock necessarily, but there's some social media people that are just interested in the clicks. Give me what you got, let's post it, and let's move on. And she's like, Sav wasn't like that. No, Sav wanted to learn about all of this stuff first. And I thought that was really cool. Just a side story. Jared in Gallatin is a CDL driver. What's up, Jared?
Hey man, how's it going?
I'm good. What do you got?
I was just listening to y'all on talking about this with that lady on the radio about this stuff, and I was right then in the middle of just trying to get the address changed on my driver's license. I just bought a house, and I haven't gotten like a legit bill from the electric department or the utilities department, and the CDL driver has to show 2 proofs of residency. And so I took them the registration to my pickup truck, and I went and got proof of accounts with the utilities department. I had my address and everything on it. It wasn't like a legit bill, and they would not accept it. And I'm just like, and I showed them my mortgage packet, and I'm standing there scratching my head, just about to lose it right there in the DMV, knowing that we've got illegal people that don't belong here running around here pulling 80,000-pound loads.
Yeah.
That can't understand the road signs or nothing. And I couldn't believe it. Well, I can believe it, but so I don't know.
Yeah,
The point of it is,
here's a flaming hoop for you to jump through, sir. And meanwhile, the Punjabi trucker, don't even worry about speaking English. That's fine. That's totally cool. Get in the truck. I mean, that's what you're dealing with.
yeah, it's insane, and it disgusts me that we've gotten to this point in this country.
Yeah.
And I don't know. How do you fix it? I mean, do we get the pitchforks out and just?
So, I mean, I think, it kind of goes back to that social media comment. You're like, it's insane that we've gotten into a point in this country where we're at. But it's also like, it's a very good thing that we're at this point in the country. You know what I mean? Like, sunlight is going to be the greatest disinfectant for this. And we are at a moment in time where sharing this information is easier than ever. Investigating these networks is easier than ever. People are paying more and more attention to this. So while I get where you're at, where it's like the frustration's coming to a boiling point, it's like, but we're also at a point now where things could actually change and change for the better relatively quickly. So I wouldn't take the black pill just yet. I do understand the frustration, but I think that you could look at it on the opposite side of the same coin, right? And say, we're at a point in this country where guys that know nothing about the trucking industry like me are now much more educated on the issues that the truckers have been dealing with for a very long time. And I think that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate it. And y'all, keep doing what you're doing and putting the word out. And maybe if enough people listen and wake up and, like you said, this stuff will start getting fixed.
Yeah. Pray to the Lord, man. That's all we can do, right? Jared, I appreciate the call. Let's go to Russell in Morrison. What's up, Russ?
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Hey, I love your show, man. God bless you, man, for doing what you're doing.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Jesus is Lord.
Amen.
And he's the one that's going to get us through all this stuff.
Amen.
And I just appreciate your show so much. And you do a fantastic job, brother.
Well, thank you. Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail, Russ.
I'm not trying to give you a big head, but I mean, I just want to say, if people that represent, there's the executive, legislative, and judicial branch of our government.
Yep.
We are like the fourth branch. It's called We the People.
Amen.
And if we go there and call representatives, and this is listening, I mean, this show is broadcast all over the United States, I believe, in all 50 states, correct?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it can be via YouTube or the apps.
YouTube.
I mean,
Yes,
the FM antenna restricts us from about Kentucky to Alabama. But, this is one of the reasons why we're pushing all this social media stuff, why we're pushing the YouTube, because we can go much further. There's no artificial ceiling on that.
Well, what I'm trying to say is,
did we lose Russell?
Democrats in other states, I mean, Democrats want the Save America Act too, I'm sure.
About 70% of them.
And it's like, if they would just call the representatives, because they say even if you get an answering machine, one vote counts as 1,000. I mean, one time you call, it counts as 1,000 people calling. They're saying, 1,000 people. So even if the Democrats call and tell the Democrats that didn't vote for it, we want the Save America Act. Come on.
Yeah.
All you have to do is show your driver's license. If they would just get off their butt and tell them that we want the Save America Act, and even though they're Democrat.
Well,
and that they need to call them.
And one of the things that frustrates me a lot, and we had Senator Haggerty on a couple weeks back, and you can find the interview on the YouTube. And it's like I aimed a lot of frustration at him, and that might not have been fair. It might have been fair. But the Republicans always want to point the finger at the Democrats, and I think a lot of this is looking inward to solve our own problems in the conservative movement. And there's a lot of sitting on our hands and dragging our feet when the American people gave you a mandate to push through Donald Trump's agenda. And if the Democrats want to get in our way, then we should be nuking that filibuster. We absolutely should use every tool in our arsenal to get this kind of stuff done because it's common sense.
Yes, it is.
And the numbers are staggering. Russ, I appreciate the call, man. You're welcome to call in any time.
I got to sing a song for you, brother. Is that all right?
You want to sing a song for me?
Yes, for you and the whole station, okay?
All right, hit me.
It goes like this. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete by listening to the radio. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. Oh, my darling, I love you and I always will. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Russ. I appreciate you, man. I did not expect it taking that turn. But I do like me some Elvis. You know? I feel a little weird after that. I like it, but I wasn't ready for it. All right. It's 11:21. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. This is the weekend that you should be going to get yourself a safe. You've been needing a safe. You've been wanting a safe. You don't know where to get a safe. Well, let me tell you, you can get a great safe at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. You got some stuff that you need to protect. Maybe it's the photo albums. Nobody wants to lose the baby photos. Maybe it's just some paperwork. Maybe it's a coin collection or some precious metals, some firearms. Whatever it might be, Aaron Parker and Parker Safes and Vaults has the right safe for your needs and your budget. These guys are total pros. It is a family-run, veteran-owned Christian business in Shelbyville, and they know how to protect the things that are most important to you. There's a remedy to losing your things, and you got to take action before you lose them. It's getting a safe. Now, Aaron and his sons sell the best safes from real quality companies like American Security, Liberty, Heyman, Rhino, Graph Under, and more. They'll specialize in the right safe for the right customer. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. These are the folks in Middle Tennessee to call. Today is the day. This weekend is the weekend to get it done. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. Get yourself a safe this weekend from Parker Safes and Vaults. ParkerSafes.com.
Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen sharing some new numbers on election security. That's coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Still recovering from being serenaded to.
Dude, that was fun to watch.
I didn't know.
And listen to.
Somebody said to me on the text line, said, "Don't do that again." I said, "I didn't. What do you mean? I didn't know. I didn't know that was coming."
I think it would have been great had he busted out in bossa nova.
See, I'm more of like an Amazing Grace Elvis kind of guy.
Oh, yeah, good old Elvis gospel. You can't beat it.
Dude, it's the best gospel.
Oh, it's real good.
Do you know? So you want to hear something crazy?
Sure.
When my son Brooks was a baby,
yeah,
he was like, he just screamed a lot. And like, if he got in the car, he would lose his mind.
Yeah.
But we could put on Amazing Grace by Elvis, and he would just stop, like instantly, like as soon as the piano hit.
Interesting.
Like he would just stop, and like he would be just totally chill the entire song.
Interesting.
And then it would stop, and he would start crying again, and we would put it on like loop. So there'd be like a second and a half of crying, and then the piano would hit again, and he would stop. So we went on vacation when he was a little baby. And I kid you not, we had a 12-hour ride to the Outer Banks in North Carolina where all we had on was Amazing Grace by Elvis Presley. You got to do what you got to do. People don't think it be like it is, but it do.
Oh, you do, man. I remember those days.
Man, I had to do it. We were trying to take a family photo that year at Christmas, and it was like with Virginia and her entire family. We're all sitting on the stairs. This was actually a cool moment. So he's doing his thing. He's just wailing.
Yeah.
He's just, he's making himself be heard. And the entire family started singing Amazing Grace. And it was kind of like a cool moment on Christmas Eve. It was like, you know. But yeah, he stopped and he smiled for the photo.
Interesting.
We got that photo out of the way and he was back to wailing.
Interesting.
It was cool.
See, for my daughter, it was You Are My Sunshine.
Okay, let's go.
I mean, she would, and this was whenever she she took her first steps. That song was, I was watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That song came on in the movie. She took her first steps by standing up and dancing to that song.
Isn't that so cool?
And I've got that on video somewhere. I need to dig out those old videos, man.
I know. We got some too, and it's like
I'm afraid I'll start just blubbering like a baby if I watch them, though.
One of the things I want to do, I want to like actually print them. Like it's one thing to like have them all on the phone, but like I want them in physical form.
Yes.
Like burn them to a CD or have them on like a cassette tape or something.
Yeah, like I need photo albums.
Yeah.
Like that's what we need to get.
Tangible.
Yeah. If you can't actually hold it, you don't actually own it. You know? I need that. Yeah, well, we got somebody said for my son. Oh, Todd said for his son it was Shania Twain. I don't think it was the song, brother. I don't think it was the song. It's 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$11:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Following President Trump's speech last night on election security, the head of the Department of Homeland Security weighing in today, Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen, sharing new numbers.
Department of Homeland Security, we've identified 250,000 non-citizens registered to vote in just 4 states.
ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas on the pushback from states.
So far, state officials are pushing back hard, and they're making clear that there's no evidence of widespread voter fraud. That is their words. That's their analysis. Number two, officials are talking about the fact that many of the items that were mentioned by President Trump and now being repeated by Secretary of the Homeland Security are information, involve information that's already been put out. The information about China, for example, gaining access to voter registration files.
So federal officials this morning revealing new information information on the origins of the parasite causing the explosive diarrhea across the country. ABC's Hannah Battah.
The FDA has identified a single supplier of the lettuce from Mexico. Taco Bell now voluntarily removing the lettuce, saying the affected ingredient from our supplier is being indefinitely removed from our supply chain nationwide and will be replaced within 24 hours in select states. The CDC has reported nearly 7,000 cases across 34 states, including nearly 100 hospitalizations.
Now, here in Nashville, there have been 10 cases reported. Statewide, reportedly 30 cases. The Metro Winter Storm Response Commission met yesterday to review Nashville Electric Service's response to January's ice storm. Commissioners say communication and coordination problems involving NES and Metro leadership and the public appear to be among the biggest issues uncovered so far. The panel's considering recommendations that include better coordination between NES and other Metro departments, a review of the structure and operations of Metro's Office of Emergency Management. They are still working on releasing a final report later this year. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
It's 11:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. People be singing. If you want to serenade us, you're welcome to. 615-737-9986. You can text in as well. A lot of people send questions in on the text line. I got a question here for Ken Weaver. Is he still back there? Is Ken still?
I'm still here, brother.
All right, let's go. Here, you ready for this question?
Yes, sir.
This is from 6464. He said, how many times has Ken said explosive diarrhea this week?
I would say at least 30.
My answer when I responded to him was, not enough. I know that. And then he had a good recommendation for Super Talk TV, which I think Mason is going to be working on.
What was that?
We need a CNN COVID-style counter for the victims of the explosive diarrhea. We do. So, you guys know Sam from the morning show?
Yeah.
He sent me a meme. I'll show it on Super Talk TV. It's a pot leaf with eyeballs standing next to a piece of romaine. And it says, "Who's the devil's lettuce now?"
That's really good.
I think we all know.
That's good.
Listen, I've never heard of marijuana giving anybody explosive diarrhea.
No, I haven't heard of that.
I don't know if there's any documented cases. We're just digging into the data.
I'm just glad that it's apparently coming from shredded lettuce because I ate an eggplant like a week and a half ago.
You've just been sweating ever since?
And I've been sweating ever since because I washed it, but I don't know if I washed it thoroughly enough. And I started freaking out because it apparently takes 2 weeks for this thing to start hitting you after you get infected.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
It lies dormant for 2 weeks?
Yes.
Well, then we're going to need 3 weeks to stop the spread. That's what we're going to need.
And I think that's why in Michigan, they've started having, like, the state health department there says they're like turning up like 600 new cases a day.
What?
And I think it's because
we absolutely need that counter. We 100% need that counter now. I didn't know it was exploding like that.
Yeah, apparently Michigan is ground zero for it.
I don't know, man.
But the good news is Tennessee is not one of the states where this parasitic contaminated shredded lettuce went to.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I do find it, a little bit sad that, like, Taco Bell's catching the strays for this.
Yeah.
But they got it from a lettuce distributor. And
right.
do we even know the name of the lettuce distributor yet?
I got to look that up, brother. That's a good point.
I feel like that's who should be blasted.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Leave Taco Bell alone.
Yeah, they say they have officially fired that distributor.
Good. I think the safest thing that we can do as a state, a community, a country is just swear off lettuce. If it saves one life, why not? But I haven't seen the lettuce distributor reported anywhere. And this is typical of Big Lettuce. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, Big Lettuce.
The Big Lettuce. Big Lettuce has been, they've been trying to hide and obfuscate for years. And we can't keep letting them get away with it.
They've been pushing the devil title away for too long.
You know what I'm saying? It's if we don't stand up to Big Lettuce now, I don't know if we're ever going to have another opportunity.
All right, here's the name of it, Brother Chris. The distributor linked to the recent parasitic cyclosporiasis outbreak, the one causing the explosive diarrhea, that's 31, is Taylor Farms.
Taylor Farms.
A California-based produce
Of course
supplier.
It's California. They even tried to blame it on Mexico, didn't they?
I think so. They said, well, we get it from Mexico.
You know what never happens if you don't want explosive diarrhea? You never get it from eating steak. I'm just telling you.
That's a good point, dude.
But, if it saves one life, throw out all your vegetables.
Do you think this is a mass vegan conversion?
I think I don't know. I've told you the story about my friend that I worked with that was a vegan.
Yeah.
He was a vegan that also believed in simulation theory. You know what simulation theory is, right?
No.
Simulation theory is that like we're all just like in like a video game kind of thing.
Oh.
And we're like plugged in a tube like we're in the Matrix.
Okay.
So I said to him, he worked with me at Turning Point. I love the guy, David John. He was like hilarious. And he's a vegan that believes in simulation theory. And I said, these two ideologies don't mix. And he said, well, what do you mean? I said, Dave, if you believe in simulation theory, then the steak was just, it's zeros and ones. That's just code.
Right.
So you can't be a vegan and believe in simulation theory. You're just sacrificing for the simulation. I was like, you're not even helping anything because it's all fake. And he said to me, and I remember to this day, you know what he said to me? He looked me dead in the eye and he said, Chris, I don't have time for you today. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I just pierced through your worldviews, but you can't be both. You can't be both.
Just your shattering coming from his ears.
He bled out of his ear a little bit. I will respect any theory, and I love the theories. I'm not against it. But you can't be a vegan and believe in simulation theory. And I told him that day. I think he's still a vegan that believes in simulation theory too. It's like weird. I just don't understand. Somebody said there's a Taylor Farms in Smyrna.
Really?
But we're not ground zero for the diarrhea.
That
could be a coincidence.
Yeah, apparently the lettuce that was contaminated went to a handful of states, and Tennessee is not one of them, but Kentucky is.
Yeah, keep them up there. Keep them Kentuckians up there.
And apparently Michigan is.
At least for 3 weeks. We need to close our borders for the next 3 weeks.
and wear butt masks.
We need butt masks, and if it saves one life, this is what we need to do.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So, all right. I think it's time. I think it's time for the lightning round. We do it every day at this time. All the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to, stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment. And sometimes it's just stuff that I got caught by the wife looking at that I have to somehow shoehorn into the show because I was like, nah, babe, this is show prep. And we like to call it the lightning round. It's the first day I didn't do the singing. I felt like we've had enough singing.
Yeah, Russell took care of it for you.
I don't want to overdo the singing.
It's okay.
Even though mine's more of like a rap. Still, I felt like it wasn't the move. It wasn't the move. All right. First story in the lightning round. Democrats are they're crashing out over the speech last night from the president. We haven't had much time to talk about this today, and I'm actually kind of shocked, but it's all right. It's for a good reason. Dan covered it extensively. He had a great interview with Hans von Spakovsky. Is it Pekovsky? Spakovsky. I'm sorry. Dan Mandis in the morning show with Hans of the Seven Isles. He had this interview, and it was fantastic. They went over everything from the speech. I can't do it justice. It's on the podcast page. You should absolutely listen to it. What I can tell you is that the Democrats are completely crashing out. And they are crashing out in epic, epic ways. And I'm here for a good Democrat crash out. Timu Obama, or as the leftists like to call him, AIPAC Shakur, which you got to give him some flowers every now and again, guys. Okay? And those leftists with their nicknames, calling him AIPAC Shakur is hilarious.
That's so good.
It really is funny. So this is what he posted on X. Donald Trump is a feeble, unhinged, conspiracy-peddling 80-year-old failed president. The economy is a disaster under this guy, and the American people know it. Pathetic. That was in direct response to Donald Trump's speech. Unhinged, conspiracy-peddling 80-year-old failed president. This is also Hakeem Jeffries, but this was in 2018.
Russia interfered with our election, attacked our democracy for the sole purpose of artificially placing someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They were successful.
2019, my bad. Is he an unhinged conspiracy theorist as well? I think that you could make the case. Cory Booker also crashing out. He's from New Jersey. That's probably the only thing that he has in common with Joan Jones. He said, Donald Trump's speech was nothing but another desperate attempt to subvert our democracy. He sees the midterm losses coming and wants to destroy trust in our elections to cling to power. We will not let him. We will fight. He will lose. The people will win. And he added this video.
Donald Trump's speech was full of outright lies, dangerous disinformation, and yet again his attempts to undermine and subvert our democracy. Now he knows he's headed toward midterm losses, and his only hope is to undermine the validity and trust in our elections. Don't let him do it. We have work to do against a desperate president that's willing to do whatever it takes to try to stop us from voting and participating. We will fight. He will lose. The people will win.
We need dramatic music. You know, we have like the sad violin. Can we also get like movie trailer music? Do we have anything like that? Do you have anything like that in the can? Just like movie trailer music where it was like, in a world where a president has become completely unhinged, one man from New Jersey is willing to step in the gap. It says,
give me a second. Hold on.
One man. Booker. That's what you would call it. You would just call the movie Booker. One man. Two brothers. It's a Rick and Morty reference. One man that's willing to stand up to a feeble 80-year-old when no one else will. Many voices are trying to subvert our democracy. But there's one man willing to risk it all. Booker. In theaters this June. I think you could play a clip of him underneath it. Like, that would be sick. It would be dramatic. This is, I look at these Democrats crashing out, and I see this very transparently as a fundraising attempt. They probably will fundraise off this, too. Do you have the music? You ready for this? In a world where an unhinged 80-year-old conspiracy peddling president is willing to do whatever it takes to subvert our democracy, one man is willing to step up.
Against a desperate president that's willing to do whatever it takes to try to stop us from voting and participating. We will fight. He will lose. The people will win.
Yeah, it works. That hits. It does.
No, that was good. That was good.
That knocks. Hey, by the way, this is also Cory
Donald
Booker.
Trump's speech.
Everyone needs to join me and others for aggressive, thorough, exhaustive congressional investigations into what is going on with Russia. This is a crisis in our country. And these are the facts. This is what we know. We saw an unprecedented attack on our nation during our elections with cyber hacking, cyber attacks, propaganda, and more from the Russians.
Russia! Remember, kids, it's fine when they do it. It's a bit of an issue when you do it. Okay? Rules for thee, but not for me. Another story here in the lightning round, real quick. I mean, it's kind of the same story, if I'm being honest. It kind of had a lot of this stuff that I didn't get to. But we had an awesome conversation with Danielle Chaffin that I just, like, this stuff can wait. Unhinged Democrats can always wait. I don't know if you know this about unhinged Democrats. They'll be there tomorrow. So it's a weird thing. But what I will say is that Tommy Tuberville is not unhinged. And before the president got on the speech, he was talking about it, and he had been briefed behind the scenes.
Speech was full of outright lies.
And hold on,
dangerous.
Cory, stop. Sorry, Cory Booker. He doesn't know when to stop talking. Tommy Tuberville was on Newsmax, and when he was talking about what the president was going to be discussing, Tommy Tuberville said that we probably have 4 or 5 senators that didn't legally win and shouldn't be in Congress, which is being completely glossed over by just about everyone. This is a massive statement.
But if you look at what we have, Ed, in terms of what happened in 2020, we know President Trump, they put the screws to him. There's no doubt. I've seen the evidence. The same thing we probably have 4 or 5 senators that didn't legally win. They shouldn't be up here. And it's just unfortunate that that's happened. But again, slowly the information is coming out. I think you'll hear more tonight from President Trump.
We probably have 4 or 5 senators that didn't legally win. So my mind immediately goes to John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. But, I mean, there's probably more, and I wouldn't be shocked if there were a few on our side. Right? Like, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at who was actually running during that time. But my immediate Google search would be for, like, Tom Tillis and Murkowski and Mitch McConnell. That's who I would Google first. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. It's 11:52. That does it for the lightning round. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 57 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming, the
That is your
director,
name, by the way.
the director of algorithm tickling, is back there. Ken Weaver is also back there. Chad Benson's in studio. Mason's
hair is
you know what
crazy
you know what he's working on? Well, yeah, he's doing the shimmy, the shimmy fluff.
Is
he
he?
does the shake and then he does the fingers up. He's a classic Gen Zer.
He is.
So
The lightning look, I call it.
we had him working on a COVID-style ticker for the explosive diarrhea going on in the country. Has that been assembled yet?
Not yet. That'll be a Monday morning, first hour.
All right,
drop.
perfect. First hour drop. Did you do that on purpose?
Will be explosive.
Did you just lose the YouTube feed? Because I saw you just go, what happened? Did you lose YouTube?
I think we're still up.
Not quite sure.
The director of algorithm tickling has no idea if the algorithm has or has not been tickled. Chad, what do you got coming up on your show?
So awesome.
What?
Oh,
He's
just-
dad. He's
we're
all
good.
dad.
So he is all dad in a bag of chips. Talk a little bit about Iran. We'll probably talk a little bit about...
we're bombing bridges.
We are bombing and airports.
Let's
Bridges
go.
and airports. What else we talk about today? A lot of stuff to talk about. Talk a little bit about the Odyssey. Talk some about the governor's race.
Is the Odyssey, you mean like the is
movie.
that with that dude that wasn't always a dude?
Elliot Page.
Yeah, what is going on with that?
I know. Plays, was it Sinan? It was like...
Why?
I have no idea.
I saw a
I don't
video.
know. I didn't cast.
I saw a video.
They don't let me cast anymore.
I saw a video, and she was like training to box, and I was like I don't train, but I know I beat the brakes off you.
Probably, yeah.
Like,
I would assume. Because Elliot's also not very big.
Like I just I'm not scared.
No, but it's acting. And supposed to be a half god, half person thing. So, the father of Achilles.
Sure thing, pal.
So,
nailed it.
So,
yeah, how do you go from Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight to whatever that is?
Who?
Christopher Nolan.
I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see how it does. Apparently, it's supposed to do $200 million this weekend, worldwide. So we'll see how it does.
It's probably going to do really good in China.
China? It's very Chinese.
Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Twelve o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Following President Trump's speech last night on election security, the head of the Department of Homeland Security weighing in today. Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen says DHS has identified more than 250,000 potential non-citizens illegally registered to vote in 4 states.
This isn't about rehashing the 2020 election. This is just exposing what took place and to make sure it never happens again.
So those 4 states are California, New Jersey, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, where officials are pushing back on these reports. These reports say that the Department of Homeland Security has not provided evidence that any of those individuals actually voted. And the severe stomach bug spreading across the country has now been linked to shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations in 5 states: Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia. Not Tennessee. The FDA has identified a